watching the rebroadcast. Thanks for coming on. Be sure to leave hearts. Welcome everybody. I'm sure the word pumpkin caught a lot of people's attention. So if you know anyone that wants a delicious pumpkin recipe, please share this with your followers, share on Twitter. I see Jimmy just popped on. Yay! Yeah, pumpkin. It's officially fall tomorrow, so it's definitely the time of year for it. Thanks for inviting followers, guys. Thanks for the hearts already. I'm going to go ahead and move this around. Hello! Hey, Jimmy. So I didn't even mean to, match my shirt to this pumpkin theme, but apparently I'm just feeling the fall vibes today. Alright, we've got a bunch of people hopping on. Hello, Bold and Beautiful. What a great name. Alright, guys, well, I'm going to jump into this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them as we go. I want to make sure you guys can see. I had this positioned better. Got this new tripod. Renee, hello, welcome. So I'm trying to use it. It's new. Hopefully it'll stay up. Alright, you can see my little bowl there now. Okay, perfect. Hi, Luann. Welcome. Okay, guys, so we're going to make a little pumpkin mug cake today. It's a nice little healthy alternative to all those pumpkin treats that we're seeing out in the stores everywhere. I love pumpkin. I'm so ready for it as well. I can eat, wow, from Turkey, welcome. I can eat pumpkin every day in the fall, but I'm also on a SIBO diet right now, which means, I don't do any grains normally. I'm paleo, but no grains. The only sort of sweetener I'm allowed to use is honey or stevia in only small amounts. And I'm kind of limited with my nut flours and things like that too, so I'm kind of baking exclusively with coconut flour and just trying to keep things on the low carb end of things so that I'm keeping good care of my gut. Hi from, wait for it, Holland. Wow, welcome. I would love to go visit there. Alright guys, so the recipe for this is super simple. I'm making a pumpkin mug cake today. So you're going to want to have a little bowl so you can mix all your ingredients. And then I've got this super cute teeny tiny whisk I like to use. But you can use a little spatula or something too. Yeah, low carb's great if you've got blood sugar issues, you're trying to lose weight, maybe you've got some gut issues. Hey Jessie, welcome back. Alright, so I'm going to dive into this. So, you need a little bowl and a little whisk. You can mix directly in your mug, but I just find it's easier to mix in a bowl and then kind of transfer. So you're going to start off with your dry ingredients, which is going to be a couple tablespoons of coconut flour. So, delicious, high fiber, good healthy fats in coconut flour. So 2 tablespoons of that. Who else likes to cook with coconut flour? Let's heart it up if you're a coconut flour fan. Yeah. Yeah, sugar feeds the gut flora. Sugar and starches definitely do, which they're so delicious, but you gotta take care of your body. Alright, so pumpkin pie spice, of course. I make my own little blend, but any store-bought blend is fine. And I do refrigerate my coconut flour, yes. If you're going to keep it for a while, I buy those 5-pound bags, so it's going to take me a while to go through it. So you're going to keep it more than a month or two, I definitely recommend refrigerating it just so it doesn't go bad. The fats can go rancid in that. So yes, I keep that in the fridge along with my almond flour. I've just started, so all that I have so far is a couple tablespoons of coconut flour in my bowl. Just coconut flour so far. The next ingredient is going to be pumpkin pie spice. If you don't have a pumpkin pie spice, you can just do cinnamon, a little ginger and nutmeg, kind of mix it up. I like a good amount of spice. The recipe I adapted this from only called for half a teaspoon, so I'm doing a full teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. For coconut flour, Nutiva makes a good coconut flour. I've heard Tropical Traditions is really good, but I haven't ordered from them before. 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. That's what we've got going on so far. Then you want a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I know you're probably supposed to get like aluminum-free baking powder, but yeah, Bob's Red Mill's great too. They've got great coconut flour. Their almond flour I'm not as much of a fan of. It's not finely ground enough. I feel like it has little chunks in it. It has gotten better. I know a lot of people were really like anti-Bob's Red Mill, and I recently kind of had to go grab some Bob's Red Mill almond flour because it was all that was available, and I was actually impressed with the texture. I think that they've improved it, so maybe give it another chance. But almond flour wise, I usually do Honeyville, and nuts.com is another great source for almond flour. Okay, so last dry ingredient is a pinch of sea salt. I just think having salt really brings out the flavor and means you don't have to have quite as much sugar. So I'm going to mix my little dry ingredients together in here. And then, so a little recap on the dry, if you're just jumping on, 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, 1 teaspoon pumpkin pie spice or cinnamon, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of sea salt. So that's in here. Now for wet ingredients, you need 1 egg. Pop that in there. You need a tablespoon of either coconut oil, or I'm using ghee. I think that has a nice flavor, so I really like that, but coconut oil I've done as well. It works great. So 1 tablespoon of that. Melted. If it's coconut oil, make sure it's melted. You might be able to sub the egg. I haven't tried. So, you know, if you do it and it works, send me a little tweet and let me know. Maybe you could try a chia egg or a flax egg. Alright, and then you need pumpkin, of course. Obviously. So 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Make sure you're getting pure pumpkin and not pumpkin pie mix, which has sugar in it. Pure pumpkin, and I actually really like, this is organic pumpkin. I get it from Whole Foods, and I just like this because I know for a fact there's nothing added to it. I hear tell that even Libby's like pure pumpkin puree possibly has sugar added to it sometimes, so just be careful with that. You know, a tiny bit of sugar is not going to kill you, but you want to know what's in your food. And this is certified organic pumpkin, nothing else. So I really like this brand. So 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons. And here's a little tip for you guys too, a little kitchen tip. I did a little scope about my Paleo freezer the other day, and I was talking about how when I open up a can of something and I don't use it all, that I'll put the rest in a container in the freezer. So if you are, you know, making this pumpkin mug cake and you only make like a couple and you don't want to waste a good whole can of pumpkin because you're not using it for anything else right away, put the rest of it in like a little container and put it in the freezer so you can pull it out, you know, next week, next month, whenever you need pumpkin again, and you're not being wasteful. Alright, and then you do want a little bit of sweetener. You have a couple options here. I do just a teaspoon of raw honey. If you really need to avoid carbs, you could absolutely do stevia. Probably like, you know, 3 or 4 drops. For me, stevia is like really strong. Skin of what fast? You're hilarious. I just saw that. So for me, stevia, I really taste it. So I go pretty light when it comes to stevia. You know, a recipe will call for like 15 drops, and I'll do like 2. So only a couple drops of stevia, but to taste, you know, you can taste the mixture and see. But I do about maybe a half to 1 teaspoon of honey, just depending kind of what you feel like. The original recipe called for like a couple tablespoons, and I just don't think that's necessary. It's supposed to be a healthy treat. It's not ruining your sugar cravings. What did low carb... Oh, he said not to save a can of whoop ass in the freezer or something like that. Alright, so honey. So I'm just going to whisk all this together. So a quick recap, if you're just joining on, we're making a pumpkin mug cake. I've got 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, half teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. You mix all that together. And then I've added 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree, an egg, a tablespoon of ghee or coconut oil melted, And is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, the honey, a little bit of honey. Yeah, you can do walnuts on paleo. Walnuts are a pretty good nut, actually. Rich in fats. Walnuts are delicious, but with any nuts, I think it's important not to go overboard. It's easy to do, and they have phytates in them too, sort of like grains, so you have to be careful not overly consuming them. Alright, my hand's dirty. I'm sticky. Okay, what program did you say you're doing? Me? I'm doing a SIBO diet right now. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So with that, the treatment diet for that is a combination of specific carbohydrate diet and low FODMAP diet. So it's pretty strict on what I can eat. Alright, so you want a straight-sided mug, not like a curved mug, straight-sided. I've got my Keep Calm carry-on mug. And you want one that's pretty tall. This is pretty large, but tall enough so that it's not going to overflow out. That would be sad. So straight-sided mug, and then you want to grease it a little bit. I like to use this coconut oil spray. Yeah, SIBO, if you've never looked into it, it's really common, really similar symptoms to IBS. Yeah, it's an overgrowth of bacteria in the small intestine. It just has to do usually with poor gut motility, so it's good bacteria that's normally in your lower intestine is getting backed up into your small intestine, and then that bacteria tends to do weird things to your digestion. It ferments foods when it's not supposed to. It messes up with nutrient absorption, and for me, I was getting so bloated that I would look 4 months pregnant after I ate certain foods, and I couldn't quite figure out what was causing it, and then we did the SIBO test with my naturopath and found that out. So if you're dealing with really upset digestion, sort of think you might have IBS type things going on, you get really bloated, like a distended belly. First of all, I'd recommend doing a food intolerance test, see if there's just any simple intolerances that you need to cut out, because a lot of that can have to do with leaky gut and things like that. And then if cutting out those foods you're intolerant to doesn't fix things, you could move on to SIBO. So the SIBO diet test, hold on, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to put this in the microwave and then I'll talk about it, because this has to microwave for 2 minutes. So I'm just going to spray my mug really quick and get my mixture in here. Alright, so I'm just going to microwave this for 2 minutes. Okay, so so the SIBO diet test is really interesting. So it's really hard. You can't really access the small intestine via an endoscopy through your throat or a colonoscopy up the other end. It's kind of hard to get to it and diagnose it. So the test for SIBO, you actually do a pre-diet for a couple days that eliminates all carbs, sugars, starches, so you don't even eat vegetables. You're just eating meat and fat, protein and fat for 2 days. It's a prep diet. And that's to sort of subdue the bacteria. And then on test day, you drink this sugar solution. It's lactulose sugar solution. And that refeeds the bacteria, and then you get these little test tubes that you breathe into every 20 minutes for 3 hours. So it was quite time consuming, but I did it from home, which was really great. So you breathe into those tubes and then send the kit in, and it's 2 minutes in the microwave. And then you send in the kit, and it measures hydrogen and methane gas outputs in your breath, because that's what's produced by the bacteria when they're active and eating things in your gut. So if those come back at a certain level, then that's positive test for SIBO. So my methane, I had a very high baseline, so my methane was quite high, and my hydrogen went up as well. So thanks for the hearts, guys. I don't know if anyone else has experience with SIBO or has heard much about it. It's definitely coming into light more. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's definitely becoming more well-known, which is good, because we could not get to the bottom of what was going on with my digestion. My naturopath and I, we did a ton of different tests, which have all helped me in different ways. I figured out I had adrenal fatigue, low progesterone, things like that. We did a GI test, a stool test, and that all came back pretty normal. So SIBO was sort of like the last ditch effort to figure out what was going on. So it was kind of good. It came back positive. It gave me an answer, but it's not the most fun diet. I'm not gonna lie. I can't have chocolate, and I can't have garlic and onions. No, a friend sent it to me, Stephanie, but I haven't listened to it yet. So I definitely will. I love Chris Kresser. So microwave went off, and it's done. So depending on your microwave, you might have to go a little longer or a little shorter, but you can see it's baked through, puffed up. And what I actually like to do is I like to pour some full-fat coconut milk on it, and it kind of soaks in. It's really delicious. So that is my mug cake. You can see it's delicious. I'm sure you could bake it. You could put it in like a little ramekin. You might want to put it in like 2 small ramekins depending on the size. Probably 350 for, maybe 10 minutes. I can't say for sure because I haven't tried it out. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. All this stuff's really interesting. I'm kind of a nerd about nutrition and diet, so I figure like all this stuff I've gone through is just for me to help you, so I can give you my experience and help you out. All right, guys, do you have any other questions about the mug cake or anything else? I'm happy to go over them real quick. Thank you for the hearts. I really appreciate it. If you want to get more paleo tips and recipes, please follow me. That's what I do, so all the tasty things. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you hopping on, and I love all the questions. Merci. Thank you. I love your French accent, Stephanie. Okay. Cool. Well, it sounds like everyone's good to go. Yeah, definitely follow me. My Instagram handle's also in my profile. I recommend following me over there as well. I post more often throughout the day and really post a lot of my meals, so you can see what I'm eating on this diet and off of it once I'm eventually off of it. I just went to the naturopath today and found out I need another 4 weeks on this diet. It's been 4 weeks already. So, yeah, that's that. But I'm finding ways to make it work, and my sort of mission in life is to simplify healthy eating. If you've got any sort of dietary restrictions, you've been working with a naturopath and found out you need to do like low FODMAP or cut out certain things like that, that's where I come in. I'm here to help you simplify that. So please get in contact with me. I do not have a website. I know. I don't know who I am. I need to start a blog, but my email and my Instagram are both in my profile, so feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions about nutrition and just wanting to get on track with things and make it really easy. That's what I'm all about, because I've tried a lot of different diets and I know how frustrating it can be if you don't know how to cook or make it healthy, where you're not just following a diet but still getting the nutrition that you need. Because there's a right way and a wrong way to do paleo, or eating real foods. There's right and wrong ways to do that, so oh, thank you. I really appreciate the support. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off for tonight. I've got an appointment to get to, but thank you so much for watching. Share the broadcast. I do catch.me, so you will be able to catch us on my Twitter afterwards. Have to drop 50 pounds. All right, get in touch with me. Send me an email, please. I'd be happy to talk to you and help you out with that. All right, guys, have a great day and enjoy your first day of fall tomorrow. Bye.